When we win, we get it back, then we take it on back to a ladder so unbalanced. It's the Masochist challenge.
Loading in, going first with a fairly playable hand. Second game of the session. The first one, I also won the coin toss, but it was against full power cool tune that opened Droll Imperm, so it was a no-go there, and not very interesting on top of it. Some kind of trigger in hand. We'll see if we are allowed to play. Maybe they just have a bad connection. I will just send it here. Go for the Iperia, try to draw something to trigger Lord. That technically qualifies. To maximize disruptions, I do have to go for the rabbit. I'm not going to make it to my turn 3 if I can't interact with their board a bit more than what I've got going on here. Go ahead and activate Lord. Okay, Spell Trap pop. Another card pop off of Statue of Anguish pattern. And a Lord trigger in hand. It's not nothing. Pot of Desires in the 50 card deck. Sure. Synchro World. If I destroy that, they can summon a Crimson Dragon. Got it. I do feel like I need to respond to this. If it's a competent Synchro deck with a good hand, then they are going to have extension, but I just can't let this obvious threat go. Got a trigger Lord here. They have no extension or no way to interact with back row. That would be lovely. Setting is a good sign. They can stop setting now. And there we go. Easy as. So, you know, as long as I get to go first and don't have to play into full power cool tune, I stand a chance. That might be the playset of the Memento field spell. Ally of Justice Enemy Catcher. Gen X Ally Volcanon. Wow, a lot of old archetypes. Explode a Rocket Dragon. I mean, rockets are interesting. What does this one do? When a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field. You can destroy this card, then each player takes 2,000 damage. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon a rocket from your deck except this guy. Okay, only issue is, of course, getting a level 7 body on the field without all the other built-in supports. Performapal Odd Eyes Unicorn. Once while this card is in your Pendulum Zone, when your Odd Eyes monster declares an attack, you can target one other Performapal monster you control. The attacking monster gains attack equal to the original attack of the targeted monster on the field until the end of the battle phase. And then as a monster, when this card is normal or special summoned, you can target a Performapal monster in your graveyard, gain life points equal to its attack. Okay. Had to read it because Performapals can be like randomly powerful. That one is only so-so, but it's a fairly high scale. Evo Price, Cypher Mirror Knight, and Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. Interesting. When this card is normal summoned, you can add a Destruction Sword card from your deck to your hand. You can only use one of the following effects per turn and only once that turn. You can tribute this card, special summon a Buster Blader from your hand or graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard and you control Buster Blader, you can discard a Destruction Sword card, special summon this card. Not a bad card. Obviously, mostly good if you are on all the Buster Blader Destruction Sword stuff, which I doubt I have any reasonable number of those. So, interesting card, but can't do anything with it at the moment. Let's keep going. Okay, going second against Manga 987, who is on all the hero stuff, so I'm guessing they're on hero. Retaliating and C in hand could be interesting against hero. We'll have to see how early they activate a spell card that specials. Wow, immediately. Sending off Stardust Synchron. Okay, I did not expect that. Let's see if we can get them to rage quit to macro. You never know. Tuning Wear. If it's sent to the graveyard as synchro material, draw a card, but it won't go to the graveyard. Righty Driver. Special a lefty driver from hand, deck, or graveyard. What is this deck? Interesting. Make it level 3. Is this supposed to go into like Cupid Pitch, search something atrocious? Junk Speeder. That makes sense. Full combo, but full combo into Macrocosmos. Can they adapt? Activate the Arrivin Light to place a level 1 dragon on top of the deck. Placing Converging Wills dragon, sure. Big synchro into Red Supernova Dragon. Effect to draw a card. Get the Converging Wills off the top. Stardust Worm. Yet another special. Wheel Synchron to normal. Into the Doppel Warrior. Grabbing the Junk Warrior. Junk Warrior and Wheel to make Satellite Synchron. Or, sorry, Satellite Warrior, who is just a big vanilla at the moment. Stardust Synchron effect engraved to special itself. End phase. Okay. Still stuff I need to crack, but they have like no follow-up. Let's start by negating the one interaction they have. Then we'll get a free body with Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Does not banish for cost. It's gonna stay there and do nothing. The move is to Haggard Lizardos, bring down the attack. As stupid as that is. Okay, and we'll Little Knight one of these guys and hope that he does not have the extension to make anything happen. Leave it at that. Some random set card. That was quite a top deck to get a thing that negates spell traps. Go in for damage here. Honestly, I think I leave it like this. They got to top deck something amazing. Add a Synchron Tuner. Okay. Does that set card do anything? I guess not. I really thought I was screwed there, but they just refused to respect my ability to play into a limited board, and it cost them. Fusion Sage. Add a poly from deck to hand. Not a card you might normally play, but I might. I don't have polymerization per se. I do have Fusion Substitute, which is always treated as polymerization. I've got 2 copies of that. So this could search that. The issue with Fusion Substitute is that it only fuses monsters you control. So like on the field. I do hope to pull just straight up poly one day. Odd Eyes Wizard Dragon. If this card is in your hand, you contribute 1 dark monster. Send an Odd Eyes from your hand, deck, or face of field to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. If this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon an Odd Eyes from your deck or graveyard, except Wizard Dragon. Then you can add a Spiral Flame Strike from your deck to your hand, and that is a card I do think I have. Interesting. And 2,500 for the random Regenesis monsters that I've picked up. Goddess of the Two Sides. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add a monster from your deck to your hand that has a coin tossing effect. I do have like Desperado Barrel Dragon from the Legacy pack. During your main phase, you can toss a coin and call it. If you call it right, double the attack of all monsters you currently control until the end of this turn. If you call it wrong, send as many monsters you control to the graveyard as possible, and if you do, draw 1 card. Interesting, if I ever get on Gambling Turbo, I'm not sure what the best like coin flip monster would be for me to search with this. Maiden of Blue Tears. If your opponent special summons a monster and you control a link monster, which I often will, target one of them, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its original attack. Not bad. If effect damage is inflicted while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, then target a normal spell in your graveyard or banishment, set it, but it cannot be activated this turn. Maybe one for the mill kind of pile as well. Mythical Beast Cerberus, another spell counter card. Each time a spell card is activated, place a spell counter on this card when that spell resolves. Gains 500 attack for each spell counter on it. At the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, remove all spell counters on it. And Assault Mercenary, another assault mode card, not my first of it. Volcanic Recharge. And Virtual World Gate Qinglong. Speaking of cards that are good in the grave, this one's on-field effect is so-so. You can banish a Virtual World card from your graveyard, then target a face-up monster on the field, negate its effects until the end of this turn. But in the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add a Virtual World from deck to hand, then send a card from hand to graveyard. Pretty darn good, if I can, especially if I can get that in multiples. I have a few Virtual World monsters like Lili and Lao Lao, the two level 6 main deck monsters, and I have at least one copy of each of the trap cards, so that is certainly coming along. I would have to get very lucky to get enough engine for Virtual World to play it. Usually it's like a pretty engine heavy deck if you want to play it consistently. But a lot of interesting cards there. Let's keep on moving. Going second against a 47 card deck with 0 in the extra. The hand does plays, but not a ton of plays. Interesting that they are simply passing. Try to get in for almost half their life points here. Link into the rabbit, and I'll get the witch search as well as the rabbit set. Pretty nice. I'll grab a retaliating. Might as well. Alright, pretty full board here. Hopefully they don't have, you know, Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, or whatever. End phase once again. I'll summon one here. Just checking for Maxi. I'm always going to be paranoid about Maxi. Fusion Destiny off the top. Man, it's a shame I am not pulling this quality hand against an opponent who actually did anything. Sometimes them's the breaks in Master Duel. Let's go get our free pack, I guess. We're beating Do Nothing Turbo. Can I pull some amazing cards? Maybe more tier cards, Ooh. Arciella, Sinister Soul of the White Forest. I actually have the level 8 White Forest Synchro Diabells, whatever her name is. So this is what she would synchro before going into that one to add a spell back from grave. That's kind of crazy. If this card is special summoned, you can send a spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, add a White Forest card or one light spellcaster monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use blah 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 once per turn. Illusion and Spellcaster Synchro monsters you control gain 500 attack. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Pretty good. In terms of light spellcaster targets, I know that I have Quem, the Dogmatica that sends like Albaz to grave and revives it. I don't know what other light spellcaster targets I have, and I'll have to look to see if I have any White Forest cards, but it's kind of crazy to have an extra deck searcher, you know, basically always available as long as you can make it, don't have to draw it. That right there is worth the pack. Kage to Kage, classic. When you normal summon a level 4 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but it cannot be normal summon set. Pretty darn good. Rank 4, obviously they just recently, in the last year I guess, came out with Onomato Kage, which is the retrain of this thing, but huge for rank 4 strategies, obviously. Familiar of the Evil Eye, Catoplebas, a Fire Fist Panda, Doll Monster Miss Madchen, who goes along with the like Box of Friends cards, Grandpa Demeto, and such. Phaedron, the Winds of Mischief. No idea what this is. A level 3 dragon. Pretty good stat line. So level limit area B or whatever it is, like this thing is 1700, but a level 3 that could attack through that. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target a face-up monster you control. If it attacks a defense position monster this turn, inflict piercing battle damage. Okay. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target one other face-up monster on the field, change its battle position, then return this card to the hand. Huh. I mean, that's... If I had pulled this in, like, my first set of packs in the Masochist journey, I would have been so thrilled with this. That is a kind of strange effect. I wonder what decks, if any, tend to play this. Valence Voltage Viscount. In the Pendulum Zone, during your main phase, you can special summon this card to your main monster zone in its same column. Also, you cannot special summon non-Valence monsters for the rest of this turn, except from the extra deck. And then on the field, if you control this special summon card, you can place one face-up Valence Pendulum monster from your extra deck face-up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. If this card in the monster zone moves to another monster zone, you can place a face-up Valence Pendulum monster from your extra deck in your Pendulum zone. Great for Valence, and it is technically a free special from the Pendulum zone, but that lock, as far as like additional main deck monsters goes, pretty brutal. And finally, Forbidden Ritual Art. Ritual summon a ritual monster from your graveyard by banishing monsters from your graveyard whose total levels equal the level of the ritual monster, but destroy it during the end phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard once this turn. When you ritual summon, you can also use ritual monsters in your graveyard as tributes for the ritual summon by banishing them. I mean, decent enough if I was on like Vendread or something. Maybe there's other decks where that might make sense. Still a pretty decent pack with Kage to Kage and of course Arciela, the White Forest Synchro. That one's kind of huge. Real quick, just to not leave people hanging, I'm looking at the White Forest in my collection that this could add. So it could technically add Diabelle's the White Witch, which is always treated as a White Forest card, which could be kind of cool. It's a free special if I send a spell trap. And then it could send a Sinful Spoils or Diabelle card. I don't have any Diabelle cards, and the only Sinful Spoils main deck card I have is Queen Azamina that is treated as a Sinful Spoils card, so most likely what I would be doing with this is make it, and then Azamina Aphes is always treated as a White Forest card, which is a compulse, so I could target cards on the field up to the number of Fusion Synchro that are Fiend Illusion Spellcaster, which, you know, would in this case just be Arciela, unless I can spam out other ones. And then if it's sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set this card. So I could also potentially, if it's already in hand, search this instead and Diabelle's pitch Azamina Aphes, Aphes reset itself. So there's like a start of a strategy there, or some kind of line of play. I will have to think through that one a little more though. Just as a fun little tidbit. Back to the duels. Okay, our opponent won the coin toss, but is making me go first. I guess I slightly prefer that to the two people in this session who have, when they lost the coin toss, immediately disconnected. One more time, Master Duel needs to stop people from abusing the coin flip screen. They should not be able to just exit out as if nothing happened. One man's opinion. Here's where a Verte Anaconda would be wonderful, but I don't have that, so what is going to play into this board? You know, if they have Nibiru, they have Nibiru. What can I say? But I definitely need more interruptions than Rabbit Pass. Most 60 card decks will not care. Alright, well, Witch is maybe good eventually, but certainly not that great now, so I lied. I will end on Rabbit Pass. With any luck, Retaliating Sea will eat their lunch. Okay, let's have a look at that middle set. Ring of Destruction. So, are we on burn? I guess let's fiend out the rest of the stuff. Macrocosmos. Notably, Winged Karibo says that it has to be sent to the graveyard, which I assure you it will not be. Just in case everything goes to hell. Gonna make Redoer so that I am not under Macrocosmos. And if they have some kind of weird battle trick, I don't die. Because everything else is stall cards. Right, Little Knight, looking good. Can dodge out. My entire board can dodge out, technically. And then on their turn, or sorry, when it comes back to mine, I can make Avermax, which I have not done in forever. Let's see what we get off the chop. Super Poly. That's not fair. Super Poly, discard Soul Crossing. Starving Venom, okay. Well, my rabbit can't die at a battle, and my Dynamicious can banish that, so they need more than that. Just given that I've seen some burn cards, I will go ahead and get rid of their monster. Not setting anything, so can I get... Ooh. Alright, this is for all the marbles. Will it connect? Senative Thunder for game. Another random win with the help of Retliating. Haven't seen it in a while, but nice to see it twice in one session this time. Fortune Chariot, a Valkyrie card. That's pretty much everything I need to know. Bujin Arasuda. It's a tri-type. If a Bujin monster in your graveyard or face-up on your side of the field is banished, you can special summon this card from your hand in face-up defense position. Once per turn during the end phase, if a Bujin card was added from your deck to your hand this turn, except by drawing it while you control this face-up card, you can draw a card, then discard a card. I mean, decent enough. I get what they're going for with the synergies that would have with the rest of the Bujin archetype, but doesn't seem great as like a singleton for my purposes. The Resolute Mechlord Army. Garmer of the Nordic Beasts. If this card battles a level 4 or lower monster, after damage calc, you can return that monster to the hand. So, like the worst Grand Mole, basically. But it is non-targeting removal on a level 4 body, which could be useful. It's tri-type as well. So it bounces their monster and puts a tri-type in the grave. Maybe there's something there. Numeron Gate Trini. So the early Master Duel Scourge Numeron cannot be destroyed by battle. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can detach a material from this card, double the attack of all Numeron monsters you currently control until the end of this turn. So obviously there's a lot I would need to make Numeron work. I would need the 3 other gates that the field spell summons out, the field spell itself, and then the normal spell card that you either activate or foolish off of the field spell. So there's just a lot that would have to go right in terms of pulls to ever do a Numeron thing. A second copy of Borreload Riot Dragon. I do have Heavy Interlock and the Rocket. Well, it's not a rocket in name, but Double Disruptor or whatever it's called that searches Heavy Interlock. So that is pretty interesting to see a higher consistency here. It's a fairly strong card. It's, you know, when your opponent special summons a monster, you can negate the special summon, and if you do destroy that monster, then destroy this card or a rocket monster you control, which pairs nicely with how rockets want to be blown up, essentially. And then if this card's in your graveyard, you can target a Boral or rocket in the graveyard, including itself, destroy a card you control in your hand, and if you do, add that target to your hand. So you can mill this and then add it to your hand, which is pretty cool. But I'll just have to see if this can ever like pay off as part of like a mill strategy or what have you. Number 46, Dragluon. 2 level 8 dragon type monsters. So, this guy's half of that, I guess. Once per turn, if you control no other monsters, you can detach material, activate one of these effects, special summon a dragon type from hand, target a dragon type monster your opponent controls, take control of that target, or dragon type monsters your opponent controls cannot activate their effects until the end of your opponent's turn. Interesting, probably not what I would use 2 level 8 dragon bodies for. Interesting. I'll say the Sylvan High Protector, a rank 8. Once per turn, you can declare a card name, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is the declared card, add it to your hand. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. If a card is sent from your deck to the graveyard by a card effect, like his own, you can detach a material from this card, then target a card on the field. Place that target on either the top or bottom of the deck. Pretty decent. Rank 8, especially, I was referencing some kind of mill pile. This could certainly aid that. It is like a really, really awful version of Zombie Vampire, maybe. And, when it does its little mill thing, having the removal, it's pretty nice. So this is like great generic rank 8 to pick up, and maybe will pair well with some other stuff that I have. That's going to take some more thinking, getting in the tank on my own time to see if there's anything really viable there. But interesting that between that and like Hope Harbinger or some other things, there's sort of a rank 8 pool forming. Just no huge aggressive payoffs, I don't think, yet. Pretty good pack, though. Let's keep going. Right, loading in, going first, and our opponent is on their rank up, so they probably know what they're doing. I guess the question becomes, is my little rabbit pass going to do enough? Okay, Statue of Anguish pattern and Paleozoic Dynamicious. Let's see what we can do. I'm gonna wait for them to activate and then I will Dynamicious that. Calling Litera. No, thank you. That was enough. Wow. Such is the duality of Master Duel. The coin toss before that, it was another one, a third one for this session, of someone losing the coin toss and disconnecting before the duel screen opened. And then I win that coin toss, and it's enough to beat Archmage. That is why people are disconnecting. But anyway, for beating Archmage, can I pretty please get some nice cards for my strategy? Performapal Friend Donkey. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Performapal monster from your hand or graveyard. So decent enough for Performapals or whatever. I certainly have a growing collection of those. I don't know if that is enough to justify ever playing them. Star Seraph Sage. Not my first of those. You can send a spell card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon a Star Seraph from your hand. I guess I do have more than one of them, so that is technically possible. Ursarctic Radiation, the draw 7 spell for Ursarctics. Obviously not playable for me, never going to have enough Ursarctics to make that work. Even the constructed deck, it really struggles. The Fabled Chawa, a beast tuner. During your main phase, you can activate this effect, discard a fabled monster, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. Pretty nice little starter, kind of, for Fabled. Number 71, Rebarian Shark. Takes 2 level 3 monsters, so generic, it's a dragon, despite, you know, being a shark or whatever. Once per turn, if this card has material, you can target a number Xyz monster in your graveyard, except Rebarian Shark, special summon it, and if you do, attach a material from this card to it. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can place a rank up magic spell from your deck on top of your deck. Pretty sweet. If I ever get on, you know, fish or water Xyz type things, this is technically a piece that could be played in that. Ghost Wyvern, the Underworld Dragon. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Ghost Fusion from your deck to your hand. I don't think I've pulled Ghost Fusion yet, but I will go check. During the end phase, if this card is currently banished and was banished this turn, you can take 1 level 2 or lower zombie tuner from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. I do have the zombie shinobi level 2 tuner, so that is technically a valid target for this thing if it gets banished. Silk Bomb Moth. I think this is a fairly new insect. You have 2 or more wind monsters in your graveyard and this card is in your hand. You can special summon this card, and if you do, shuffle a wind monster from your graveyard into the deck. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can reveal the top card of your opponent's deck and apply the appropriate effect based on its card type. If it's a monster, place it in your opponent's spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous spell, and if it's spell trap, banish it. Interesting card. I don't think it's something that I am going to have the means to play effectively. Kind of funny that it has like Monarch stats though. And last card, Flamvel Grunica. Interesting pack, you know, getting more fabled cards maybe makes that eventually a little sub-engine of main deck monsters. I certainly have quite a few of them. And then rank 3 stuff, also good to kind of build up a little bit, but let's keep on going. Loading in, going first. The opponent is on 44 and 4 cards in the extra. They had like the Dark Magician deck box and stuff. Unfortunate that I have pulled the Light Stage and the Lilybell. I think I need to axe the Potato and maybe add the second Lilybell in its place. But anyway, Dogmatica Punishment will just have to carry me. Okay, I was not expecting set 5 pass back to me. I suppose I will Light Stage just to attempt to lock something down. Ojama Trio. Okay. Some kind of zone lock turbo, huh? Ring. Ring and just desserts. And just desserts again. Okay. Let's increase this thing's level by 1. That way we can go into Vermilion. Pop the face down, because I assume it's, yeah, not able to be destroyed by battle. Now we just need to hope that it's not the dragon in hand. Which I guess it's not. Okay. Can they kill me with 2 cards? We'll lock down the back row and pop the monster. No Cyberjar for you. It's a shame that I can't do enough damage to kill them. Was a Mirror Force, okay. Light Stage, very good for battle tricks specifically, which burn decks love playing. And that is all we needed. For defeating Burn, can we turn up the heat on these pulls? DD Lamia. You know, I was talking about DD cards after getting that Synchro monster, but they can keep them if they want. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send a DD or Dark Contract card from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard except DD Lamia, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. I mean, a pretty good one, as far as like singleton DDs are concerned. Alchemist of Black Spells. Primal Dragon the Primordial. What are you? Level 4 Light Dragon 2k. Your opponent takes no battle damage from attacks involving this card. You can banish a dragon monster from your graveyard. This card gains attack and defense equal to that banished monster's attack until the end of the next turn. If this card is tributed, you can target a monster you control. It can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Interesting card. Maybe one for the dragon pile or a chaos pile at some point. Speaking of dragons, Gateway Dragon. If your opponent controls a link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only special summon Gateway Dragon once per turn this way. Once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Dark Dragon monster from your hand. I mean, it's basically like a level 4 vanilla with some bonuses going second. Not too much to write home about there. Adamancipator Crystal Raptite. Commander Gotham's Swordmaster. Desmanian Devil. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add a level 4 or lower beast monster from your deck to your hand. It's tri-type, and it adds even more beasts, more tri-types that is, from deck to hand, so not the worst thing I've read. And Legendary 6 Samurai Inishi. So once again, nothing that I can play in the deck right now, but happy to see some new cards all the same. We have made it to a potential rank up, but the opponents that I'm... Oh, they bricked. We rank up. And for the first time this season, we see the rank up screen to Platinum Tier 4. If, you know, our luck continues with coin tosses and such, maybe this could be the first time this account hits Platinum Tier 3. I guess we will see. For defeating an opponent who was most likely quite bricked, what can we pull? Assault Mercenary. I literally just saw you. What are you doing here? I just saw you. And that wasn't my first either, so this necessarily completes the playset. Number 96, Dark Mist, another rank 2. 3 level 2 monsters, once per battle. When an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can detach a material from this card, have the attack of the opponent's monster, and if you do, this card gains that same amount of attack. Decent enough effect, and because it's an attack modifier, you can do it in damage step. The issue, of course, being that it takes 3 level 2s, so even the deck that I'm currently running isn't heavy enough into level 2 monsters to make that consistently. Gold Gadget, not my first of those, so another for the machine deck. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a level 4 machine monster from your hand. And if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a level 4 gadget from your deck, except Gold Gadget. Ironically, I'm pretty sure this and its other copy are the only gadgets that I currently have. Berserkic Quint Charge, Blackwing Blizzard the Far North, a second Ogre Dance. I literally just pulled this, I don't know, like a couple sessions ago. So yet another Ogre Dance, still waiting on a Xiamen, but now whenever I find a worthwhile level 3 punk, I will get to it very consistently. Salamangreat Wolvie. A monster that was link summoned using this card as material cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect for the rest of that turn. Fair. You can only use one of the following effects per turn and only once that turn. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can target a fire monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. And if this card is added from your graveyard to your hand by an effect, you can reveal this card, then target a fire monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So, okay, so you can add this thing back to your hand and then reveal it, add another fire monster from graveyard to hand. Maybe one for the fire pile let's say. And Rebuilder. A level 4 Cyberse. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target a Cyberse monster with 1500 or less attack in your graveyard and special summon it. Like decent, you know, it's 1800 attack, whatever, but very basic effect. Despite the fact that it could theoretically go in the Cyberse pile. Happy to see another Ogre Dance, I guess, if we ever get a Xiamen or what have you, but beyond that, we just gotta keep on grinding. Now in Platinum 4. Okay, loading in, going first after losing the coin toss twice. So we are basically fighting. This is not a rank down, but if I lose this one, probably the next one will be. So fighting to stay in Platinum 4. They have something they can activate. I don't know that I can do anything about it. So we force them to use whatever card in hand, probably Imperm, on the Silhouette Rabbit. Well, whatever it is, they did not want to show. Get Retaliating, see if we can get another random sack. Some kind of trigger there, so it's possible they're on Droll. Let's head for the end phase and see if they have something they want to activate. Oh boy. Labyrinth. And I do have Spell Trap Destruction, but it is on a new chain, so it's not going to do much against normal traps. The Coup Clock. Whatever they set, they can now activate thanks to Coup Clock. It's a big welcome. So let's go ahead and make sure whatever it is they summon has to be returned to hand. Now we go welcome, set something else. We'll Dynamicious. Why not? Let's be annoying. Resetting, big welcome, huh? Let's let them go ahead and set if they want. Oh, I guess they can't. Has to be a normal trap card. They will get to bounce using that. Okay, well, we've made it to Redoer. That was enough to frustrate them. They were probably going to win. That is probably the first time that I have beat Labyrinth on this account. So this is maybe my most earned pack of the night. Anyway, Gagaga Caesar, Infestation Ripples, Sage of Wisdom Himmel. You know, free Rin for the Sky Striker deck, maybe. You can discard a spell, special summon this card from your hand. Not bad. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a link monster you control, you can banish 2 spells from your graveyard, negate that effect. Fair enough. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Sky Striker spells, add it to your hand. I mean, I do like having a free special. The rest of it is kind of whatever for my purposes at this point, but you never know. Procession of the T-Jar. Not my first of that. I did try throwing that in my stall list because it can book opponents' monsters and keep them face down. But it's, yeah, kind of a tough card to use. Spiral Discharge, so a Gaia card. Nemlyria Louvre. I do have the ultra rare Little Girl Pendulum and the normal spell that searches it. I'm still looking for the continuous spell that searches the big beast guys and the big beast guys. But, you know, if I ever get all that stuff, nice to have an additional Nemlyria card here. Aurora Paragon. Level 4 Light Fairy. Neither player can special summon monsters. When another monster is normal summoned to either player's side of the field, destroy this card. I wonder if there's some kind of degenerate I equip it with an equip spell that says it can't be destroyed by card effects, and maybe then it's like a full lockdown. Could be something to look into. What is the Hollow? Oh boy. Mikazuka no Yaiba. Mikazuka no Yaiba, sure. The Moonfang Dragon. During the end phase, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon it, but place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. You can discard 1 card, add a level 7 Dark Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. The only reason I would consider this is because it's not just during your end phase, it's during the end phase. So that is interesting as a way to set up theoretically turn 0, except you don't actually... The other effect is an ignition effect. I guess overall it's pretty bad. But, you know, nice to have another new card in the back pocket just in case. Anyway, let's keep on grinding in Platinum 4. Series of bad coin tosses here. We are going second, 40-5 though, so maybe it's just a structure deck. Plenty of going second tools in the hand too, gotta say. Dharma Eye Magician. Okay, Pendulum structure deck. Surely you normal summon that unless you have a second one. Okay. Well, it is now that time in the episode. My time has come to a close for this session, so we will open up 20 legacy packs and then move on to the final master pack. And from the looks of things, there's going to be some hollows in these legacy packs. I'm curious to see what we could get. There's plenty of stuff in here that could really help. Let's go. Okay, Evigishki Marrowgeist, not my first of those. Dirk, Longing for the Blue Skies, a level 10, maybe to make a rank 10 into a rank 11, a level 10 reptile. If a monster is special summoned from the deck or extra deck by your opponent's activated monster effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Ooh, very millable. When a monster effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons a monster quick effect, you can banish 1 card from your hand or field, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that monster. During the end phase, if this card is currently banished and was banished this turn, you can return one of your other banished monsters to the graveyard. Interesting. Very interesting card. Does not summon from hand, but summons itself from grave and can negates a summon, but negates an effect that would summon. So that is pretty interesting. Another remove brainwashing. I think that's my second of these, and it's mostly interesting because I have a playset of the Kaiju field spell and 3 differently named Kaijus. Another Marshmallow, also good for, you know, stall type stuff. What else do we have? A Death Frog. Fusion summon of this card can only be conducted with the above fusion materials. This card gains 500 attack for each Treeborn Frog in the graveyard. Broken! Anyway, what else do we see? Not so much. Oh, okay. Another Performapal. When this card's normal summon, you can special summon a Performapal from your hand, but it has its effects negated. Once per turn, you can change all monsters you control to defense position. And, you know, this, along with many of the other Performapals, are tri-types. So, there is that. Looking through the traps and spells, it doesn't look like there's anything there that I'm especially interested in, but another remove brainwashing for Kaijus, and this guy is very interesting, if I can ever make that work. Anyway, let's go ahead to the Master Pack. So what do we get for our opponent scaling the Crobat Joker instead of normal summoning it? Let's find out. Levia Dragon Daedalus, classic. You can send a face-up Umi you control to the graveyard, destroy all other cards on the field. But this thing doesn't have like a summon condition to get itself onto the field. Crowley, the Magistus of Grimoires. Grimoires? Let's go with Grimoires. Not my first of that. A second Fusion Sage this session. Wow, they really want me to consider fusion decks. So 2 of those and 2 fusion substitutes. Interesting stuff. The Traveler and the Burning Abyss. Target any number of Burning Abyss monsters in your graveyard that were sent there this turn. Special summon them in defense position. Not bad. I was actually looking at this the other day. Just, you know, Burning Abyss being a very millable strategy. I only have, I think it might be Seer, but either way, I only have 1 Burning Abyss name and only 1 copy of it. Gadget Driver. Another gadget card, technically. Quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target any number of Morphtronic monsters you control. Change the battle position of those targets. There are Morphtronic cards that like gain counters and do stuff based on changing battle position. And then, of course, they get different effects depending on their position. So, cool, but we're never doing that. Generator Boss Bite, which I do have 2 of the field spell and a Planet Pathfinder. Tribute any number of generator monsters, then target a face-up Xyz monster you control. Attach exactly that many generator monsters from your hand, field, and or graveyard to it, except the monsters tributed to activate this effect. Not as good as I may have hoped. I did not recall this card. Valkyrian Knight, and last card of the episode, X-Saber Airbellum. Certainly a decent card back in the day, like Edison or around then. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. And a level 3 Beast Tuner. Decent pickups, the Fusion Sage obviously being the most generically useful of all of them. A nice episode as far as expanding the collection. Hasn't really unlocked any of the strategies that have been kind of brewing in the background. But we have at least achieved staying in Platinum 4. So if I can somehow next episode inch my way into Platinum 3, that would be huge for me. But anyway, thank you so much for following along. If you want to keep up with the series, obviously subscribe. But either way, appreciate you being here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will catch you next time.